Pahalgam. The name itself evokes images of paradise. Nestled in the Himalayas, it is a place of breathtaking beauty. Lush green meadows, snow-capped mountains, and the Litter River meandering through it all. Pahalgam is a popular tourist destination. It is a place where people come to escape the hustle and bustle of city life. They come to find peace and tranquility in the lap of nature. For decades, Pahalgam has been a symbol of hope. It represents the potential for peace and prosperity in Jammu and Kashmir. But on April 22, 2025, that image was shattered. Terror struck this idyllic valley, leaving behind a trail of death and destruction. The attack on Baisaran Valley was not just an attack on innocent people, it was an attack on the very soul of Kashmir. The tranquility of the valley was broken by the sound of gunfire. Tourists, who had come to Pahalgam seeking joy and relaxation, were caught in a nightmare. The attack, carried out by heavily armed militants, lasted for what seemed like an eternity. It left behind a scene of unimaginable horror. The attack on Pahalgam was a stark reminder of the vulnerability of innocent lives. It also underscored the volatile security situation in the region. The attack sent shockwaves across India and the world. It raised urgent questions about the future of peace and stability in Jammu and Kashmir. It was a bright and sunny afternoon in Baisaran Valley. Tourists were enjoying pony rides, taking pictures, and soaking in the beauty of their surroundings. Around 2:30 p.m., the peace was shattered by the sound of gunfire. 7 heavily armed militants, dressed in military fatigues, emerged from the nearby forests. They opened fire indiscriminately on the unsuspecting tourists. The militants, identified as belonging to the Resistance Front, TRF, were armed with sophisticated weapons. They carried AK-47S, M4 carbines, and grenades. The terrorists specifically targeted non-Muslims, verifying identities before executing them. They used their body cams to record the entire attack, a chilling testament to their barbarity. The attack lasted for about 10 horrifying minutes. The militants focused their fire on 3 specific locations within the valley. This suggests a well-planned attack intended to maximize casualties and instill terror. The terrorists showed no mercy. They gunned down men, women, and even children. Their aim was to create an atmosphere of fear and chaos. Eyewitness accounts spoke of the chaos and panic that ensued. Tourists ran for their lives, seeking cover wherever they could find it. Some hid behind trees, while others jumped into the Litter River. The air was filled with the sound of gunshots, screams, and the cries of the injured. The beautiful valley, moments ago filled with laughter and joy, had transformed into a scene of unimaginable horror. The attack left 28 people dead and over 20 injured. The victims were from all walks of life. They included families on vacation, honeymooners, and friends traveling together. Among them were 24 Indian tourists, 2 locals who worked in the tourism industry, and 2 foreign nationals, one from Nepal and another from the UAE. One of the victims was a young couple from Delhi celebrating their first wedding anniversary. Another was a retired schoolteacher from Kerala on his dream trip to Kashmir. There was also a group of friends from Mumbai who had saved up for months to experience the beauty of Pahalgam. Among the deceased were an Indian Navy officer and an Intelligence Bureau official, both on leave and visiting Kashmir with their families. Their presence raises questions about a possible intelligence failure leading up to the attack. The attack left behind families shattered, dreams broken, and a void that can never be filled. Amidst the tragedy, stories of courage and resilience also emerged. Local Kashmiris, putting their own lives at risk, shielded tourists and helped them escape. Some even opened their homes to provide shelter and comfort to those who had lost everything. These acts of bravery and compassion, in the face of such brutality, offer a ray of hope. They serve as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, humanity shines through. The Pahalgam attack sent shockwaves throughout India. The nation mourned the loss of innocent lives and demanded justice. The Indian government responded swiftly and decisively, both domestically and on the international stage. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the nation, expressing his condolences to the families of the victims. He vowed to bring the perpetrators to justice and said that India would not be cowed down by terrorism. He called the attack a desperate attempt to derail the peace process in Kashmir. The National Investigation Agency, NIA, was tasked with investigating the attack. They launched a full-scale investigation to track down the perpetrators and their handlers. The NIA released sketches of 3 of the militants involved in the attack, seeking information from the public. India also took strong diplomatic measures against Pakistan. India downgraded diplomatic ties, expelling Pakistani diplomats and recalling its own. The government also suspended its participation in the Indus Waters Treaty, a long-standing agreement on water sharing between the two countries. These actions, taken in response to Pakistan's continued support for terrorist groups operating from its soil, signal a new era of assertiveness in India's foreign policy. The message was clear: India will no longer tolerate the use of terrorism as an instrument of state policy. Section 5. The world reacts. Condemnation and calls for peace. The international community reacted with shock and outrage to the Pahalgam attack. World leaders condemned the attack and expressed solidarity with India in its fight against terrorism. The United States, the United Kingdom, the United Nations, and other global powers issued statements condemning the attack in the strongest possible terms. They offered condolences to the families of the victims and reiterated their commitment to working with India to combat terrorism in all its forms. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, who was on a state visit to India at the time of the attack, expressed his condolences and offered America's full support. The U.S. also issued a strong travel advisory against visiting Jammu and Kashmir, barring U.S. government personnel from traveling there. The attack also drew condemnation from unexpected quarters. The Taliban, often accused of supporting terrorist groups, condemned the attack and called for peace and stability in the region. This condemnation, coming from a group that has been accused of sponsoring terrorism in the past, highlights the global outrage against the attack and the changing dynamics in the region. The international community's response to the Pahalgam attack underlines the global consensus against terrorism. It also emphasizes the need for concerted efforts to address the root causes of this menace. Section 6. A glimmer of hope, acts of courage and humanity. Even amidst the carnage and chaos, stories of extraordinary courage and compassion emerged. Ordinary Kashmiris risking their own lives, shielded tourists, and helped them escape the line of fire. Their acts of bravery provide a ray of hope amidst the darkness. One video, which went viral on social media, showed a Kashmiri man rescuing a young boy during the attack. The man, later identified as Riaz Ahmed, was working as a pony owner in the valley. In the video, he can be seen running through the gunfire, carrying the terrified boy in his arms. He shields the boy with his own body, putting his own life at risk to save a stranger. Riaz's act of bravery resonated deeply with people across India and the world. He became a symbol of hope and humanity, proving that even in the face of such barbarity, the human spirit can prevail. The attack also saw countless other acts of kindness and compassion. Local residents opened their homes to tourists, providing them with food, shelter, and comfort. Doctors and nurses worked tirelessly to treat the injured, while volunteers poured in from all over to donate blood and assist in the relief efforts. These stories of courage, compassion, and resilience stand in stark contrast to the hatred and violence of the terrorists. They remind us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can triumph. Section 7. The aftermath, security concerns, and the future of tourism. The Pahalgam attack has raised serious concerns about the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir. It has also dealt a major blow to the tourism industry, which is vital to the region's economy. In the wake of the attack, security has been beefed up across Jammu and Kashmir. There is a heightened presence of security forces, and security checks have been intensified at all tourist spots. The government has also announced plans to review and strengthen security arrangements for tourists in the region. However, the attack has undoubtedly had a negative impact on tourism. Tourist arrivals have plummeted, and many hotels and resorts are reporting cancellations. This is a major setback for the local economy, which relies heavily on tourism. The government has announced a series of measures to revive the tourism industry. These include providing financial assistance to affected businesses and launching promotional campaigns to attract tourists. However, it will take time and effort to restore confidence and bring tourism back to its pre-attack levels. The attack has also raised questions about the effectiveness of intelligence gathering and security measures in the region. Reports of security lapses, including allegations of Jammu and Kashmir police skipping standard operating procedures before U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance's visit, have further fueled these concerns. Section 8. The larger picture: terrorism and instability in the region. The Pahalgam attack is a stark reminder of the ongoing threat of terrorism in the region. It highlights the complex geopolitical realities of Jammu and Kashmir and the challenges in achieving lasting peace and stability. The attack has been attributed to the Resistance Front, a terrorist group that has been gaining prominence in recent years. The TRF is believed to be an offshoot of Lashkar-e-Taiba and Hizbul Mujahideen, both of which have been responsible for numerous attacks in the region. The attack is seen as an attempt to derail the peace process and create instability in the region. It comes at a time when there have been some positive developments, including a decline in violence and a renewed push for dialogue. However, the attack shows that terrorist groups remain active and pose a serious threat to peace and stability. The attack also highlights the role of Pakistan in supporting and sponsoring terrorism in the region. India has long accused Pakistan of providing safe havens to terrorist groups and using them as proxies to target India. The attack is likely to further escalate tensions between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. The international community needs to come together to address the issue of terrorism in a comprehensive manner. This includes putting pressure on Pakistan to dismantle terrorist infrastructure on its soil and addressing the root causes of terrorism, such as poverty, unemployment, and lack of education. Section 9. A call for unity, moving forward in the face of tragedy. The Pahalgam attack was a tragedy of immense proportions. It left behind a trail of grief, anger, and a deep sense of loss. But amidst the darkness, we also witnessed extraordinary acts of courage, compassion, and resilience. The attack reminds us that terrorism is a global threat that affects us all. It knows no religion, no borders, and no humanity. The only way to defeat it is to stand united against it. We must reject hatred and intolerance in all its forms and work together to build a more peaceful and just world. The people of Kashmir, who have borne the brunt of terrorism for decades, deserve our unwavering support. We must stand with them in their hour of grief and work together to create a future where such tragedies are never repeated. The road ahead will be long and arduous, but we must not lose hope. We must draw inspiration from the acts of courage and compassion that we witnessed in the aftermath of the attack. And we must continue to strive for a future where peace and harmony prevail.